The dreams of Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones are officially dead.
You have stolen my dreams, my childhood, with your empty words.
Jon Jones' ducking might have finally worked, as it looks like his next fight isn't going to be against Tom Aspinall, if he even has a fight at all. Or is the UFC in the wrong in this? We're gonna break all of this down. But first, another fight that is all but confirmed is Conor McGregor versus KSI, because we have now multiple sources confirming this. We talked about last time how Logan Paul wanted out of his fight with Conor McGregor because he's more focused on WWE. And I said in my last video, there's a potential we could still see KSI versus Conor McGregor, because KSI also has a good relationship with the UFC, has that relationship with Prime, and also isn't a Jake Paul who is going to absolutely trash the UFC brand in the process of this fight. So I said, look, the UFC might actually be involved with KSI. Well, it's looking more and more likely that this is the case, and I'm going to show you guys in a little bit like the smoking gun. Like, this is pretty much like confirmed. It all started when Happy Punch posted a poster of KSI versus Conor McGregor saying that this is in the works, and KSI retweeted it saying that, yo, this is not rumors and that he is genuinely in talks to fight Conor McGregor. And this is from KSI himself. But what does Conor McGregor have to say about the situation? Well, he hasn't said much, but did like a post talking about the matchup, which is kind of him hinting at it. But if this wasn't even the worst of it, we heard from Misfits News per Moms Taylor, which is KSI's manager and the promoter of Misfits. He's saying that this is confirmed. This is the manager of KSI literally confirming he is in talks to fight Conor McGregor.
Can actually give you a bit of insight, because after Ben and I saw these tweets, we sent it to the group chat. We went, Mams, what's going on here? And he actually responded with saying that there is some truth behind this, that they are really pushing to have this fight.
And this could also add some legitimacy to some of the theories that Conor McGregor will be fighting with Misfits. Now, I'm going to say I like KSI versus Conor more than I like Logan versus Conor. Is Logan potentially a bigger name in the United States? Absolutely. But KSI and Conor McGregor, I think this is going to be a better looking fight. I think Logan would just try to clinch up Conor McGregor like how he did with Floyd Mayweather, leading to 8 rounds of a very boring fight. Well, I think KSI will actually try to go for it. I think KSI will genuinely go out there and try to beat Conor McGregor. Now, will he succeed? I highly doubt that. I think this is a perfect matchup for Conor McGregor. Guys, Conor, I know that there's a lot of talk of him being washed. He lost to Dustin Poirier and Khabib. And while I don't think he can hang with the top of the lightweight division, we're talking about KSI. Like, this is not the lightweight division. I think he actually knocks out KSI. I think KSI comes in, you know, very reckless, and Conor McGregor does what he does. Slip the right hand, land the left hand. And I think his reaction time is going to be very good in the fight, especially since he's probably been working on boxing since the leg break. And if Conor wasn't in the news enough already, you guys probably heard about his diss of Ilia Topuria. You guys gotta let me know in the comment section below if this was too far or not. We found out yesterday the UFC is most likely not going to Spain. This is where Ilia Topuria mostly wanted to fight his next fight. But Ilia Topuria's manager said that it's unlikely for a multitude of reasons. Number one is the clear reason that the UFC doesn't want to do any stadium shows. Secondly, the 2 arenas in Madrid are booked up. I guess literally fully booked up this whole year of 2025. I don't know, that seems crazy to me. But lastly, interestingly enough, Barcelona apparently is not letting Ilia Topuria fight there because of his public support of Real Madrid. Obviously, Barcelona, Real Madrid, there's a rivalry there, which is very disappointing for Ilia Topuria, because we've been hearing for like 5 years that the UFC is going to Africa, and we are still waiting. So just to see that the same thing is probably going to happen to Spain, it just sucks, and I think we're going to just have to come to this realization. But Conor McGregor had a lot to say about the situation in a tweet talking about it. He replied saying he wouldn't sell it also. No chance. Which is, of course, Conor McGregor doing what Conor McGregor does, questioning other people and their stardom. I think Ilia Topuria could probably sell out a stadium, to be honest. I think the UFC is on fire, and Ilia Topuria's stardom has been pretty impressive. Like, you see his Instagram followers, he definitely has a following in Spain. But another piece of disappointing news is Dominick Cruz did confirm that his next fight is going to be his last fight. Dominick Cruz is set to fight Rob Font in UFC Seattle. He said on DC and the Bad Guy, this is his final fight. This is it for him.
I enjoy fighting. I'm from the era where you didn't get paid a ton to fight. You just enjoyed fighting, and that's why you usually started. So I enjoy fighting, and I'm going to do one more.
Speaking of fights coming up, Diego Lopes has hinted at his next fight, and it's potentially a really big fight. He posted a picture saying that he has started camp, hinting at a potential fight coming up. I think this is most likely going to be that UFC Mexico card that is coming up, just because of the timing and everything. But I'm curious to see who will he probably fight, and it's probably going to be a big name. It could be a Yair Rodriguez, could be Bryce Mitchell, even coming off of a win, maybe even Arnold Allen. I don't think Movsar Evloev, because of Ramadan, the timing just doesn't work out there, but that would be my number one choice, honestly. It seems like we've talked about this Evloev and Diego Lopes rematch for a long time. It just doesn't seem to happen. But speaking of fights that are probably not going to happen, Jon Jones is looking like he's ducking Tom Aspinall. It's disappointing, but also not surprising. We all wanted to see this fight. There were ups, there were downs, and where we last left things off was a pretty positive note, with first Dana White 100% guaranteeing that this fight was going to happen.
Would you guarantee 100% we see that fight?
Yeah.
I'll say 100%.
Then Joe Rogan coming out on his podcast saying, look, he thinks the fight is going to happen. And not only that, apparently Joe Rogan heard a rumor that Jon Jones was getting paid $30 million and the UFC was willing to pay this.
I think they're trying to come to some sort of an agreement. The rumor is that he wants $30 million, and that the UFC is going to pay it.
Well, Joe, unfortunately for all MMA fans, has retracted his statement and said this was false. He found out this is not true because Dana White himself called Joe Rogan, and this is the biggest deal in this whole thing because Joe Rogan gave even worse news because literally, apparently, yeah, he is saying that he now thinks Jon Jones is going to retire. So this is like a full 360. Like we went from, yeah, Jon Jones is going to fight to now he's never fighting again. So this is just insane. Dana White said, look, 30 million, not true. The UFC's not paying him 30 million. And I'm pretty sure Dana did this as part of some negotiation tactic, just not to have this number fly out there. And it seems like Joe Rogan now thinks Jon Jones is going to retire. So I don't know what happened in that phone call, but I'm sure that Dana White's promise 100% guarantee that Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall is going to happen. It looks like, yeah, that this fight is probably not going to happen.
I had heard a rumor that Jon Jones wanted $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall. The rumor is that he wants $30 million and that the UFC is going to pay it. And I did hear that rumor. And I did hear that the UFC said yes, but it is not true. So Dana contacted me and said that rumor's bullshit. So I felt obligated to tell everybody. I don't remember who told me that.
What do you think the amount is that Jon Jones would fight him for, or do you think it's an amount?
Well, apparently Jon is thinking about retiring.
Yeah.
And he should. I mean, he's going to have to someday. He should. I'm not saying he should retire. I'm saying he should think about it. He's the GOAT. He retires. He's got plenty of money. He's got an opportunity to do some acting.
To be honest, I was 50-50 this whole time. Didn't know where to go, but I was getting even more hopeful. Now I'm at a point where I don't think this fight is going to happen. That is just my prediction. If I'm going to be honest, I don't think this fight ever happens. I've predicted before that I think that maybe Jon Jones refuses to fight Tom Aspinall. He gets stripped. Maybe Aspinall fights Pereira. And at the end of the year, Jones comes back. I'm not even sure if that's the case anymore, guys, because look, I think the UFC are willing to pay him a lot, but there's also a possibility where maybe the UFC is not willing to pay him a lot. And maybe this is the UFC's fault, not Jon, because truth be told, this is a mega fight. This is a massive fight, and I'm sure that the UFC probably are willing to pay Jon Jones a lot. And 30 million, look, it's crazy, but to be honest, I think it's worth it. It's a fight that a lot of people want to see. I'm not saying you're going to pay Jon Jones 30 million every single fight, but this is his last fight. I say give him the 30 million. The UFC makes so much in profit anyway, and potentially you grow a new star in Tom Aspinall that, brings MMA to the UK in a massive way that we've never seen before, kind of like how the UK treats boxing. Yes, the UFC does sell out arenas inside of the UK, but when you look at boxers like a Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, they have such a huge following in the UK. And if you could replicate that to a guy like Tom Aspinall, you could sell out Wembley Stadium and make even more profit. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. That is way worth the 30 million. Like, this could be a potential investment. Obviously, though, there is the flip side that, Jon Jones does beat Tom Aspinall, and then, yeah, they just wasted 30 million. But I still don't think it would be a waste. I'd be happy. I hope this fight gets made, but I'm just becoming more doubtful. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base to MMA. Check out my other video where I talked about Tony Ferguson and leaving the UFC for a new MMA promotion. And I'm gonna see all you guys in the next one.